What is one piece of advice that you give clients that they often don't believe?
I would say how important a contract status report is. That can be, it can be hard to get some buy-in on that, but to really understand where you're overbilled, what jobs you might be really, really underbilled, which could bring a red flag. When you have it all there on that schedule and you can kind of see it and have update meetings and talk about, profit fade and all that, it really pays off tremendously. And I think some clients can be a little hesitant to really dive in on that.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, right? Most people who start construction businesses don't do it to make money on the front end, right? They do it because they like to build things. And people who come into our larger construction clients out of college, they're not necessarily, they're thinking about being project managers and project engineers and that sort of thing, working in operations, not finance. And I know we talk about that a lot with clients is, just that education piece of, hey, that WIP schedule, that contract status report is really where the rubber meets the road, right? If you can pretty much know most everything that's going on with your business just by virtue of really understanding it, reviewing it, and I would even go a step further and walk through the process of how it gets updated every month, from the superintendents to the project managers to looping back in the estimators and the accounting function. I mean, it's really a total team effort to get that WIP schedule updated correctly every month. Mm-hmm. And it just teaches you a lot about your business. So I fully agree.
Yeah, and I think it's something that you got to just continuously be updating it. I've got, several that will get the original estimates on there and then kind of forget about it after that. And that doesn't really do you any good if you're not continuously updating, your estimated cost to complete and all that. It kind of does take a little bit of time to understand, it's really my job cost. That's how I earn revenue. It's kind of counterintuitive. When you get cost in the door, you earn that profit. And so I think there's just an objection of, in their minds when they're billing and collecting from clients, that's revenue that they've earned. But in reality, if you hadn't done the work, you kind of got to understand that that's kind of a liability at that point.
Yeah, but you can definitely see the mismatch in some in the construction industry of the WIP schedule versus what my bank balance looks like. Is running the company on, do I have enough cash to pay payroll, pay cost this month? And you find sometimes that you're floating some jobs on billings that you've gotten from other jobs. Because you haven't exactly recognized the revenue on a job yet. So you find yourself using cash that you should be holding in place for jobs in the future, job cost in the future. You're now using that to cover cost on jobs right now. So I think that it kind of layers into what you were saying, is understanding that the WIP schedule is kind of the lifeblood of a construction company from a financial standpoint. You can't really measure it off of, do I have cash? It's, do I have cash to cover these jobs into the future because a construction contract lasts so long?
Yeah, and I would say another objection I hear a lot is, well, that's just an estimate anyway. And that's just, you guys, you CPAs asked me to do this, and my surety agent asked me to do it, and I don't really get any value out of it, and it takes an awful lot of time. I just want to go build things, and and it does take a lot of effort. It takes, like I said earlier, all the communication throughout the organization to get it accurate. It takes a lot of time out of a day that, for a lot of people that are in operations that really want to be on job sites and doing construction related operations activities, not looking at what they may deem looking at spreadsheets with accountants.
Mm-hmm. And it is just estimated. I mean, it is just an estimate, but at the same time, I mean, the bidding process has always been, but has gotten even more important to the construction industry, just as you've seen the last few years with inflation. Is you're bidding on a job today and you may not start the job for 12 to 18 months, and your cost may already be behind. So being able to update that on a timely manner, and you can start to see the fluctuations in material prices and how it's affecting your bids, your margins, and everything, is just understanding how the WIP schedule works and how, yes, it's helpful in looking at your financials now, but it helps you with bidding into the future and understanding how prices are changing.
And just learning, it's a feedback loop is what I like to tell people. Yes, you are looking at things in the past. You're going back and looking at where your jobs were last month or last quarter, however often you update it. But it's really the value that you get from looking at it. Okay, where are we budget to actual? Where were we last month? What happened this month? And you get to the end of a job and, okay, well, if we were either way over or way under, okay, well, let's go back to the estimate. And just, it's that continual learning that I think really kind of takes contractors to the next level. And that's really what the tool should be used for. But you can't get there unless you update it timely and you take the time to go back and look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a great tool that we use just to illustrate kind of the importance of a WIP schedule is looking at a look back calc or a fate analysis, thinking through terminology of what somebody in the construction industry would use, is being able to look back at when a job is completed, looking back month before, year before, and understanding the changes in that job over the course of that job's lifetime, and understanding where did we miss on a bid or where did we do really, really well, either from a materials purchasing or did we use our labor really, really effectively. And it helps you build, especially starting out, but even construction companies that are very much running like a well-oiled machine, is if you can continue to use that to look prospectively within your bidding process, when you're going out and winning new work, and understanding what projects you do really well on, what do you utilize really well, to just help you continue to build that profit margin, to go out and get jobs that really fit what you do really, really well, so that you're not wasting a bunch of time sitting on a job and finding yourself running your cost up on something that you should have been out of a month, 2, 3 months ago.